No, I don't think he wants to stay. Is it Uncle Brian? Is it okay if I use the restroom real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Put the camera on me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go too.
Put the camera on me and
I'll
Bobby.
be right there. Move it.
Put the camera on me and Bobby. Me and Bobby. They look really good.
Where are you going, Ace? I want to get a soda, but I'm not going to.
All right, so I think I'm pretty sure we've got volume now online. And so here's what's going on today. We have some family members here for what's it called? A sprinkle?
Huh?
Is that what they call that?
Yeah.
It's called a sprinkle. It's something like in between a shower and a bath. And it's a sprinkle. So what happens is I guess people who have multiple kids, it's not really a shower, but this time it's going to be a sprinkle. So they're downstairs, and all of these rats
baby shower.
needed something to do. So I said, hey, how about we do a podcast, right?
Baby shower?
Yeah.
So this is Jocelyn. Jocelyn, you want to say hi?
Hi.
No, you got to say hi into the mic, girl.
Hi.
All right, so Jocelyn's saying hi, and let's see. I'm going to head over here. This is Noah. Noah, you want to say hi?
Hi.
All right. And then your bro, Bobby. You want to hold on? Let me get you. Let me see if I can find the right cut here for that, Bobby. I'll tell you what. If I go like this now, because I don't need me.
I'm here.
Okay, I'll go there. That should be good, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
That's a good.
Bobby, you want to say hi?
Hi.
All right, so that's Bobby, and that's Bella. Bella, say hi.
Hi.
And then I'm gonna jump on back over here. This is this is Annie. Annie.
Hello.
Okay, so we did have 7 rats. We're now down to 2, 4, 5 rats and two dogs.
Yeah, well, 2 of them.
What was the 2 dogs?
They were the 2 dogs, and we're the rats.
Okay, so you guys
Yeah.
are the dogs and we're the rats?
I
basically
figured
like that.
Brandon and I would be a rat if that works out right.
No, we have to be the rats because we're smaller.
No, me and
Or
Bobby
I mean
are
a dog. Yeah, we'd be a dog.
No, me
Yeah.
and Bobby are dogs.
Yeah,
Okay.
2
No,
dogs.
you're not dogs.
All right.
1, 2,
You were never on a dog's level.
Okay.
and 5 rats.
Let's talk about something.
We're
like
talking
in the
about
Bible or
Jesus.
something, I guess.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
talking about like
So
some.
basically, Jesus was a person. That,
Bella, stop.
Shush.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about
Yeah.
whatever. So Noah, you had something that you kind of wanted to talk about, so let
Explain
it
to us what cigarettes are, or ziggurats.
Cigarettes.
Okay, so like a ziggurat or ziggurat or
It's
whatever
a
it's called.
ziggurat.
It's like where like ancient times people would like create these like ziggurat, whatever they're called, thingies to like try to communicate with like other gods.
What were they creating?
Like I guess like
An object?
it'd be more like a temple.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah. So a ziggurat was used in ancient, even pre-Babylonian
Like
times.
Mesopotamia.
Yes, Mesopotamia. You're exactly correct. You're very smart. So in Mesopotamia, they would build these temples, and these temples would be used to try and communicate or bridge the gap between humans and gods. And this was a spiritual thing that was very strange. Matter of fact, if you go to Genesis chapter 11, which this is interesting, you should come to church tomorrow, Noah.
All right, I will.
Because
You're playing on it anyway.
really?
Yeah.
Okay, because Genesis chapter 11 actually talks about a guy by the name of Nimrod who built a ziggurat. It's called the Tower of Babel, but it's actually a ziggurat or a ziggurat. It's not to be confused with a cigarette, which does bad things to your lungs. So a ziggurat was used, and these people in the early days of the Bible, they were actually trying to communicate with other gods, and that's why God came down and said, we're not having this. We're going to have to confuse this because people are going to destroy themselves if they start to do this again. So yeah, you're exactly right. Ziggurats were used for that. Now let me ask a question here. You think ziggurats are a good thing for people to be building and doing?
No.
Okay, what is
No.
okay, no. So what's a modern day ziggurat look like then? Do you think
maybe
there is?
A church.
At church, yeah.
Maybe like, or like
Church.
maybe like this like, not really like a church, but maybe like
No.
some type of building. Where,
Okay.
like, people would like do different things from a church. Maybe I don't know.
Okay.
And-
Could be.
I got a question. Did they like do sacrifices?
Some of the we'll see ya.
I also have
Sorry,
a
that was
question.
one of our rats.
Did they do sacrifices to like talk to the gods or whatever? Like they're like,
I wouldn't. I mean,
No.
I wouldn't think they would do.
I would say
sacrifices.
wouldn't
They
that
would
be
just like
illegal?
go up to the
like
temple and, like-
nowadays, or are we talking about in the past? Because
Past.
oh yeah, that wouldn't be
like
illegal
far in the past, like BC.
I was gonna say nowadays that would be definitely illegal.
Well, do you guys know what Mesopotamia even stands for?
It's a
Yes,
type of, it's
the
a type
land
of,
between two rivers.
Yeah, Euphrates and then
Tigris.
Yeah.
That's in the Africa, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Euphrates River and then
It's like in the Fertile
Tigris.
Crescent.
Oh, I have a question.
We
Go
learned
for
about
it.
it.
I have a question. So, like, since we're already cursed with like sin and death because Adam and Eve ate the forbidden fruit that God told them not to eat, if a witch or not like a witch, but like if someone in general were to say, "Oh, well, I'm gonna curse you," and then wouldn't that have a reverse effect, or would that just like cancel out?
It would just
all?
curse you even more.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
Like it would like turn you into
can't
like
really,
the beast.
You can't
Like
really
like
curse anything.
like you know the beast from like the Beauty and the Beast. Like that happened maybe, or you turn into a rose.
I mean, yeah, but
Either one.
The person who cursed the beast from Beauty and the Beast was like a fairy person.
Okay, but like
We are.
but like the late like yeah. How do you not know what Mesopotamia stands for though, Jocelyn?
Because we didn't learn it.
Oh, yeah.
didn't learn about like stupid. But anyways, so would that have like a reverse effect, or would that just like cancel out in general?
All right, so let's think about this for a second. When the curse came down in Genesis chapter 3, what was cursed?
Oh, I know.
What was cursed in Genesis chapter 3? Go ahead, Jocelyn. You know, well, you got to talk into the mic if you can, Jocelyn.
I guess I know some of it because I haven't read the Bible in a while, but like don't they have to like they have like death obviously like and they have to like find their own food or something. I don't know. It's because they ate that one apple thing. They were like, "Oh, snake is like, oh yeah, you should eat this apple," and he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, I'll eat this apple that God told me specifically."
It wasn't a snake.
The snake was Satan.
It was a snake.
It was
It
Satan.
was Satan.
Okay.
It was Satan disguised as a snake.
Ordinary snake.
Yeah.
It was a scary
Snakes
snake.
cannot
It
talk.
was a snake that could talk. A snake that could talk very well.
Yeah.
Why would you listen to a snake that goes, "Hey, you want this apple?"
You know, like I
I don't
can barely
know,
even
it's
like listen to my
biblical
mom. So
times.
why would I listen to a snake?
Look, it was biblical times. Humans have not
But it
are
I can
better,
barely,
kinda.
Like Joss, like she or her over here. I don't know her name. No, I do. Jocelyn right here. I can barely listen to her, and she can barely listen to me. So how will we listen to a snake?
It wasn't a snake. It was Satan. Satan's
It was
temptations
a-
are one of the strongest.
No.
Satan was in a snake form. Exactly, but Satan's temptations are one of the
Okay,
strongest. Therefore, he was not just an ordinary snake.
What did?
This is real podcast, you guys.
Yeah, I know.
It is. We're going at it.
It's like the 5. I'm onto something.
I think you
Satan's
are.
temptations are
What
one
did
of the
he say?
strongest temptations.
Eat the
Satan's-
apples.
No, be quiet. Satan's temptations are one of the strongest. Therefore, they were weak in that area. So they took the fruit and God punished them. It's like a parent punishing a child for, taking candy when they weren't supposed to or something. Except it's worse.
Bobby, your thoughts? Your thoughts? No, you gotta like talk into the.
Oh,
mic.
you know what? I have another question.
No, you don't.
Well, wait a minute. Let's go back. So if everything was cursed, say for instance everything was cursed in the garden. So you've got death in the garden. You've got man has to live by the sweat of his brow. Women are going to have multiplied pain in childbearing. Those were some of the things that were cursed. So the ground was cursed. The serpent was cursed. Death had come. Women were going to have more pain in childbirth. But now today, the curses that talk about, like, so for instance, when someone says don't curse, that means don't swear, right? Mm-hmm. But the idea of swearing is to curse someone or to damn something. So, for instance, when a witch or somebody like that curses somebody, or you have some kind of voodoo black magic stuff going on in other countries, or even here today, satanic or cultish type things, when they put curses on people, they're actually trying to figure out ways with the spirit realm to actually bring more destruction and more harm into the life of the person. So it doesn't actually reverse the actual curse. It's just that the spiritual realm is actually trying to curse or damn someone even more than they already are, bring more trouble, more harm into their life.
I have another question.
All right, go for it.
How did Jesus know that he was the Son of God? Like, how did he know that since, like, how did he know that?
Okay,
Why
well,
would his mom just tell him? He said he already knew that.
all right, well, let's talk about that. Does anybody know how Jesus would have known that he was the Son of God?
Because God told him. God told him. No. Jesus knew it because he never did anything bad.
Guys, stop. Guys, stop.
Guys, we're on a
We're on
podcast live,
live,
and you guys
you
are
know that,
acting
right?
like you guys are playing hide and seek.
Yeah, right. See, Noah knows his podcast etiquette.
Yeah, but Bella.
Both of you.
So
Okay.
You're gonna have to leave.
what if,
don't pull
like,
on
you
that.
know,
Connected to
the
a light,
angel
there's a
that
light.
was like to Mary, hey, you're pregnant with God's son.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Uh-huh.
What if like he was coming to Jesus and was like, hey, are you the son of God? And he's like, okay, cool.
Well, okay. I have
do you
I have
not know that God
a
did
good
tell him?
question.
Yeah.
How did God enter heaven?
Because he wanted to.
Yeah, like how was he just? How did he?
like,
Like,
know,
how
was
did he
like-
magically be born into heaven? Did he like naturally be there, or was he like
Okay.
just a regular human being and then got like chosen to be up there?
Right. So these are really tough questions, and here's the deal: we have to, by faith, we have to trust that God is the uncaused cause. So that means that God caused everything to come into being, but God never had a cause. The Bible tells us that God has always been eternal, and so that means that God didn't have a beginning and God doesn't have an end. That's the same thing with Jesus. Jesus is told to have been someone who has no beginning and no end. So Jesus, when he came and put on flesh as God, he put on flesh, and eventually, as he grew up, he began to know by the Spirit, and finally, probably the big kicker was when he was baptized in the Jordan River by John the Baptist. That probably gave him a pretty good indication of where he was supposed to be going and what he was supposed to be
Who
doing.
came up
But-
with baptizing people? No, who came up with baptizing people?
So Jesus, these are really good and difficult questions, but Jesus, when Jesus actually realized he was God, we don't really know, but it probably was a little later in life. However, do you remember the story when he was 12 years old and he went to the temple and he was teaching all of the teachers, and they were really amazed because he knew all this stuff, and he was like, so maybe even at the age of 12, he started to get a good idea of who he really was and what his purpose was.
So he was naturally like born a god, but like human,
He was actually born in human flesh, yes.
but
yeah.
basically a god.
I got a question.
But a God, yes.
I have a
Not, well, let's put it this way, Noah. Not a God, the God.
well, I got a question.
and I have a point to make.
So,
Okay.
what if like God was just like like Jesus was just like an over, like kind of just like a prophet, but except like more.
Like an overhyped thing.
Yeah, like kind of like a I don't know how to. I have it on the tip of my tongue. I don't really know what the word is. Like an over exaggerated prophet, just like.
Like he was like worshipped more than he needed to be, or saying.
Well, no, I'm saying that he. What if he was just a prophet? And, like, even though he was like God's like technical son, through him. What if he was just like a prophet, like just an over exaggerated prophet? You
Okay.
know?
Well, let's think about that. What kind of things did Jesus do that may have made him more than just a prophet?
He walked
Okay,
on
well,
water.
um,
he cured
he did
he
the
cured a
fish
12-year-old
bread
little
thing.
girl, I think.
Okay.
You know, he did the fish bread thing where he like had a bunch of fish and bread. Oh, he turned water into wine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, listen, there are people that have supposedly done miracles before, right?
Oh well, I've also got another point to make.
All right, hold on one second, Jocelyn. So let's try to answer your question first, okay? So there's a lot of people that have done miracles in life and things like that. But let me ask this question: has anyone ever died
And come back to life.
and come back to life?
No, absolutely not.
Not that we know of, right? Well,
Yeah.
Jesus, the claim of Jesus is that not only as God did he die, but he took his life up again, and he now lives so that you and I, through his life, might live if we trust in him. So, Jesus, one of the proofs and the evidence is that he's not just a prophet, because there is no other prophet on the earth that claims that he died and rose again. Muhammad doesn't claim that. Buddha doesn't claim that. There's no other prophet that claims that. Jesus is the only one who has been claimed to have died and resurrected and lives again, and he was actually seen by witnesses after his resurrection. Noah, you got a question real quick, buddy?
Yeah. So
All right, hold on.
he
Yeah, go ahead.
so he resurrected himself.
Actually, he did. Yeah, he took his own life up again. So you got to remember, when the body dies, the spirit does not. The spirit continues to live. So by the power of his spirit and by the power of who he is, he took up his body again. See, it's not that his spirit died. His body died on the cross, and his spirit, of course, went to be with the Father, or went to be in his position as God. And then he took that body up again, and now he continues to live with that body. But the Bible tells us one day he's going to come back and he's going to give us all new bodies. And if we've died before he comes back, he'll take our old bodies and he'll resurrect them. and glorify those, and we'll live in those glorified bodies as well.
Okay. Well, I've got a more technical question.
Okay.
How would Jesus? So even if he came back to life, it's a more technical question. How was his body not decomposition? How would that have not taken over? Even if he was mummified, there'd still be some decomposition.
He was only in the grave for 3 days.
Yeah, but my mom said that decomposition starts like as soon as you start, like as soon as you die, you're just already.
Jesus was Jesus.
This is true. This is true. But do you remember in Genesis chapter 1, what did God do?
He didn't he like bring back a man who was dead for like.
No, in Genesis chapter.
Oh, I know.
Genesis
He took the like dirt or whatever and made like somebody's like. Didn't he make Adam out of like?
He made Adam out of like dirt.
He did. And what else did he do? What else did he create?
Oh, he took
He created animals.
Okay, he created animals. What else did he create?
Didn't he take the woman? Didn't he take the woman? Like, didn't he make Eve by like taking a piece out of Adam or whatever?
Yep, the rib. So, and what else did he create? Anything else? When you look up in the sky?
He created this a heaven. No,
Yeah.
Angels.
Yeah, angel. He did. He created the angels. They were there in Job chapter 2. Actually, Job chapter 38, it says that the angels, the morning star, and the sons of God sang at creation. So we know that the angels had already been created before earth. He also created, according to Genesis chapter 1, the sun, moon, and stars. So listen, if God could create those things by speaking them, do you think he could take a body that was slowly starting to decompose after 3 days and raise that back up in perfection?
That is
Yeah.
true.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, now I've got a good question. So you know how Moses like made the river into blood or whatever? I don't really understand. Was that just God, like being like, oh hey, I'm gonna make this river into blood, and you're gonna act like you did it? Like
No, God made the river, and God gave Moses that power to like make it the river into blood with his staff.
So wouldn't
like
he be almost God tier?
You see, like he made the you could see like take this staff and it'll like give you all the power you need or whatever. So what I think he did was he put some I don't know how to, it's on the tip of my tongue. I don't know how to describe it.
Keep going. You're
but
good.
like he condemned this staff, not really condemned, but like you know what I mean. He condemned the staff to like make miracles because now it was like because like God basically made that staff into something that could perform miracles, basically.
I think you're right. So it was God's power that did it, not the staff, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I just need to make sure.
All right, and I have another question.
I forgot.
So the whole blood thing, though, Jocelyn. If you think about this, what God was doing is He was trying to convince Pharaoh to let his people go, and He was trying to show His power to Pharaoh, so that Pharaoh might humble himself before God and say, "Okay, you are the true God, and I'm going to let your people go." So when God did those things, He worked through that. So, all right. So what's the next question?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So
Hold on. Well, can I 1 second? Because Bella had a question earlier.
Yeah.
Bella, do you want to go?
I forgot.
Huh?
I forgot.
she forgot.
You forgot.
I forgot.
Okay, Annie, go.
So about like mental illness and stuff is like sort of off topic because like you know I have like ADHD.
I have BBCD.
Yeah.
You ever heard of that?
No, I haven't.
I haven't either. Okay, go ahead.
So did God create that as a curse too? I'm not gonna say ADHD is really mental illness, but like depression stuff. Did God like create that as like a part of the curse
Okay.
of like sin and death and like misery it brought into the world or whatever? Because like world peace will never be achievable.
Uh-huh.
But like, did He create those as a curse along with it?
Okay, well, let's think about it. Does anybody want to kind of help answer that a little bit? Does anybody want to take a shot at that before?
Wait, what did she ask?
If her ADHD is a part of the curse that God brought on the earth, and is her ADHD part of that? What is it, right? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, you're saying that
Okay,
right.
all right. Noah, do you want to take a shot at that?
So like, okay, explain it to me.
So Annie has ADHD, right?
Yeah.
And she's wondering if that is kind of part of the curse that God brought on the earth, and that's why she has to live with ADHD because of the curse thing, or how that whole why that is, she has to deal with that.
I mean, I just wanted to say one more thing. Can I
that's good.
say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
we just recently found out I had ADHD, but I've had high functioning autism as well my whole life.
I remember my question.
And the thing is that's confusing me is that there are a lot of good characteristics about autism. Like it makes me more creative. It makes me like more talkative. It makes me more energetic. All those things.
Mm-hmm.
And like I can, like doctors said, like I wouldn't be able to like carry any conversation. I have a lot of trouble socially, and like I'd have difficulty even walking or talking. But like look at me now. I'm saying things clearly. I'm socializing well.
You're a miracle.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering, would that be a curse and a blessing in a way?
Wow, that's tough.
Well,
That's deep.
Well, God basically says everything happens for a reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like every action has a consequence. Like
Let's say
I reach for this Coke and drink it, and now I'm hydrated. That's a consequence.
let's say
I don't know if you're hydrated.
let's
I'm
say
hydrated.
Brian
You got
had
you got high fructose corn syrup in your system
Wait,
now, but I don't know
how?
if you're hydrated.
Wait,
well, let's say Brian, you had like dwarfism or something.
Dorkism?
No, dwarf.
Oh, dwarf.
Dwarfism.
Like I'm really small?
Yeah.
Okay.
like you're like this big.
And you also like have like deformation, like you're like deformed, kind of like Jason, like the guy that.
How do you know about Jason? Friday the 13th, Jason?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right, go ahead.
Like if you had deformity, whatever it's called, deformed. If you were deformed or dwarf,
Yeah.
it happened for a reason.
That is okay. That is true. So let's just think about this for a minute, everybody. Okay.
Whoa.
When the curse came down because of man's sin. We disobeyed God. So in our disobedience, there are consequences for when we disobey God. God's way is always going to be best and always going to be right for us. But when we disobey God, we put ourselves out in places where we have the potential of getting into big-time trouble. And that's exactly what Adam and Eve did. Adam and Eve were placed in a garden, and they were told to worship God and to take care of the garden. And if they did that, life was going to be grand. But they decided to take matters into their own hands, and instead of depending on God, they decided to do their own thing, and they found out that it brought destruction and death. And that's what kind of happens in our life. But when you talk, Annie, about your ADHD, I think ADHD may be something that is a part of the fall, meaning that it's not maybe how we were all created to be. Like it's not the perfect scenario. And yet what you are experiencing and the miracles that you have about your creativity and the fact that you're walking and doing things.
Yeah, I prove doctors wrong and stuff.
Not only that, but I think that shows that even in the midst of death and destruction, God is gracious and merciful, and He loves us. And even though we have to live in this messed up world, He can do miracles even with somebody who has ADHD or even somebody that has dorkism like me. He can take me and He can change me, and He can do amazing things in my life if I'll trust Him. And if you trust Him and you follow Him, He can lift that curse of death and darkness in your life, and He can make things whole.
But wait, how do we know that heaven is real though?
Okay, all right. So Annie Bella has a question. How do we know that heaven is real? So let's go ahead. You guys start running this. What do you think?
Okay, wait. I have a question.
Oh man.
I have a
So
question.
sorry.
So whose sin was it? The man's sin or just people's sin that would like?
It was Adam and Eve's sin.
Everything happened for. Like, I'm so
Bella.
confused.
Oh, I got a question though.
All right, hold on. Okay, so hold on. So Noah's question goes back to what we were talking about, and then we'll get to Bella's question about heaven.
Yeah.
Okay?
So like, you said man's sin, as in like people who did the sin, or just a man's sin?
So let me ask you a question, Noah. When your parents tell you to do something, do you always do what they tell you?
Yeah.
Really, Noah?
Yeah, I am a liar.
I'm telling you're a liar. You're a liar. I'm a good child.
You just sinned by doing that, Noah.
Yeah, because you
God
just
saw
lied,
that,
right?
Noah.
Bella.
I take my back lie.
All right, so you have, right? You've done things. You've disobeyed your parents.
Yeah.
And when you disobey your parents, God says you're supposed to obey your parents and honor your parents. So that's sin. So listen, there's not one person that's ever been on the planet except for Jesus
Who hasn't sinned?
who hasn't sinned. So when we say man's sin, we're talking about all of us. We've all messed up.
Okay,
I got a good
I was
question.
just confused.
Okay, so hold on real quick. Let's get back to Bella real quick. Bella asked, how do we know that heaven's for real? Does anybody want to take a shot at that?
I do. I'd like to take a shot at it.
Okay, go ahead.
Jocelyn, no, don't start with that with me. But I was saying, we know that we don't know that heaven's real. We can't be certain. We just have to take God's word for it.
And we haven't been there yet. So
yeah, we haven't been there yet.
Well,
so there's no way of knowing for sure. We just have to trust God, in God, and take His word for it.
Okay, well, I got a theory. So, wait. Okay, so you know how, like, Jesus came back or whatever?
Yeah.
We can only really trust the Bible's word because the dude was like, oh, yeah, Jesus came back to life. I don't remember who wrote it, but he was like, yeah, Jesus came back to life, and he said heaven was legit. So, like...
Yeah, but we don't have any spirits to communicate with to know if heaven is real, and we don't know if HE double hockey sticks is real either.
You can say hell if it's
You
not
can
like...
say you can say hell as long as you're not saying
it's
what
not-
the.
Okay, wait.
You know
okay,
what I'm
I got a good question. Okay, so if Jesus, like, why would Jesus curse us and be like, oh yeah, I love you guys, but you gotta go through a lot of pain and suffering,
Well-
and also I'm gonna make you question your existence.
Mom loves us, right? Mom loves us. Does Mom love us?
But yet again,
Jocelyn, does Mom love us?
Jocelyn, answer the question, Jocelyn. You've been asked a question, answer it.
What?
Does Mom love us?
Yeah, does Mom love us? Yes, she does. But she still don't start that with me. She does, and you know she does, and you know she does. But she still punishes us. But she still loves us unconditionally, right?
yes, but wait. Yet again, like God says, I mean, everything happens for a reason, so like
Who knows? Maybe
Yeah,
he cursed
but,
us
like-
for well, he did curse us for a reason, obviously.
yeah,
Also-
everything happens for a reason. That's why he cursed you guys or
Why did God let people murder people if he lets everything happen?
Because that's part of the curse. That's part of the
God's
fall.
God's like, oh yeah, I really like you guys, but I'm gonna make you kill each other, hate
That's
each
part
other,
of the
dislike
fall.
each other.
That's part of the fall, and
All right.
people who do that will pay the price.
Okay, so let's back up a second. Okay, so first of all, let's go all the way back. We have some writings that tell us that Jesus rose from the dead, which are writings of the Bible. But we also have other historians that recorded about this Jesus character. Josephus is one. Tacitus is another writer, so you can look these guys up if you want. Josephus was a Jewish historian. Tacitus was a Roman historian. And there's also other writings that tell us that Jesus was crucified and he was on the earth and he did have followers. But think about this. If you were following a man and he died for a purpose and he really didn't rise again, you really didn't see his resurrected body, would you give your life to follow him? That is Josephus, you're right. Would you give your life to follow a man? Would you give your life to follow a lie?
no.
No, so that's one of the evidences that tells us the disciples actually died because they truly believed that Jesus did rise from the dead. And I don't think anybody would give their life for something that was a lie. Now, someone might give their life because they believe something to be true. They don't know it's true, but they might believe it to be true.
But wouldn't that be us? Because
wait.
we don't know if it's
Yeah,
true, but
we just have to
believe
take
it's
his word
true.
for it, though. You know.
Well,
wait.
you do, but over time you can have more and more evidence build up in your life according to what happens. So those evidences can start to build over time.
Oh, I've got-
So we don't know, we haven't seen heaven, but there are a lot of evidences that point us to heaven, and not just biblical evidences. There are tons and tons of near-death experiences where people say they have crossed over, died, and they have encountered other things on the other side. So we at least have evidence that some people have crossed over and they say there is something on the other side. Now you have to ask yourself the question, what's the most viable option of what is on the other side? And I say that the Bible gives us some of the best answers about what's on the other side.
But
wait.
I have a question.
Okay?
So, what did Satan do specifically to become sane? Because scriptures say that like he did something bad, and
I
then
answer?
somehow went to hell
Can I answer?
and became the ruler.
It's cause he was trying to take over God's spot, wasn't he? He was like, "Hey, I want to be God now."
That is true.
But
Well,
why
wait.
would he do that when he knew?
Because he's like, "Hey, I want to be God now, so I'm gonna fight you." And then God was like, yeah, you're bad, so I'm gonna just send you to hell."
God is the Almighty. How can you be like that?
Well, wait. I have a question, Brian.
Yes.
Why are your hands yellow? like your palm of your hands, like they seem kind of yellow. I don't know why they seem yellow.
They look yellow.
It might be the light. I'll tell you what. Plug in those lights. We plug in those lights.
All right.
Nice. I like that art.
That's not it.
Wait, where's the camera? I have to wave.
This is plugging in. I can't get it in.
Oh my god.
It's covered by something. It's not
We
working.
are literally going to jail.
I got it in.
Does that look better now?
I did not just flick my
Your hands
sister.
still kind of look yellow.
They look kind of look yellow. Oh, can we keep these on?
Maybe I'm jaundiced or something.
Yeah, your hands are definitely yellow.
Oh, can everybody just take a look?
What
second
about the
look at my
whites?
hoops?
What about the whites of my eyes? Are they yellow?
Can everybody just
No,
like,
they're green.
Can you all please take a second to appreciate my earrings?
I do like your earrings.
kinda
Your
big.
earrings
They're
are
very
nice.
big.
You appreciate my earrings, please. Nobody cares about your earrings.
Put it on this camera.
Some people
You know you
might.
can't wash it off,
okay.
right?
All right, check out this art. This is Bella's hand art.
What is
I
that?
have no idea.
Please show them the trampoline.
This is Bella's hand art, though.
Why does that look so stupid?
What happened to your hand?
This is why God is punishing us. This
This
is
is
the
your
reason why we're
doing.
punished.
This is
This
your
is
doing.
the reason why we're to turn. We're in
Oh wait, I have an important point to make.
By the way, I
Okay.
think we're leaving.
So since I have rips in my clothes, wearing 2 different fabrics, wearing makeup, and I don't know wearing jewelry is that, and cutting my hair, would I still get to go to heaven?
What? Let me ask a
Because I'm
question.
in God's home too while doing it.
How does someone go to heaven when they die?
Well,
believe in
okay,
Jesus.
so if they committed enough sins or try to be like in contact with Satan or try to be possessed, something like that, like try to come in contact with the devil.
Okay, so that's like all of us because we've all sinned, right?
Sinning is a contact, like we have contact
Sinning
with
is
the devil. I'm
technically
pretty sure.
contact with the devil.
Okay, let's go back to Genesis and Jocelyn's thought earlier that why would God punish us? But God didn't punish us. We got a consequence because we knew what was right. Do you remember what he told Adam and Eve would happen to them if they ate of the tree of the knowledge of
Well,
good and evil?
he said, like, hey, this is kind of just like a simplified version. He's basically like, hey, if you eat from that tree, you're gonna get in big trouble because I literally just told you not to eat from that tree. And they're like, okay, we got you. And they just eat from the tree, and he's like, seriously, you literally ate from the tree I just told you not to eat from.
No, that's exactly true. But in your simple term there, he said specifically, you will surely die. That's what he told him. He said, you're going to bring death upon yourself if you don't listen to me. That's why I try to tell people God's ways are always best because they bring life. They bring us into life and not death. So when you talk about murder, why are people murdering each other? Because people are choosing death and not life. And so it's not God's fault that we are choosing death or that we die. It's our fault because we're choosing not to follow God's ways. God's ways are life. Our ways lead to death. And so when we make that choice, we get a consequence. So I don't even know that it's like you say, why did God curse us? It was, yes, there was a curse, but listen, if you go back to Genesis chapter 3, God never cursed us. He cursed the serpent, he cursed the ground, and then he told Eve, of course, that she would have pain in childbearing, but he never said she was cursed. So yes, we have to live in a cursed environment. But God has always been about redeeming us and giving us life. He's not been about letting us die because, see, that was our consequence, death. And God said, I don't want you to die. I want to give you life. And that's why he actually came and took on flesh and died in our place so that he could substitute his life for ours because what do we get? We get death. He died in our place, and if we trust him, we now can have life.
I have a question.
Off topic.
Wait,
Okay,
I have a question.
I have an off topic.
Oh my gosh.
I have a real quick on
Annie.
topic thing. It's not going to be like anything you have to discuss.
Is Annie smart?
One, can I use the bathroom? 2, can I please get another cupcake?
Yes, you can go do all that right now
My
because we're going to ask
question-
Bella.
My question was, is Annie smart?
I would say she's pretty smart.
Okay, but like,
I'm gonna go get some food.
okay.
I'm going to go to the bathroom.
I don't know. I'm gonna go.
All right. Do we want to call it a break and then we'll record some more later?
Yeah.
I think we're leaving soon, actually.
Okay. All right. So we're out of here. Good job, everybody.
Peace out.